Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hi, Rangers. It's me, Jackie Kashian. Welcome to the Dork Forest. It's 2024. Let's do this. Here's the credits, of course. Mike Ruekberg sang that song at the beginning, and he wrote that song, and he sang it with Sarah Cohen, his wife, and he will sing the Mexican hat dance at the end of the program. Also, Patrick Brady, still putting this together. Video, audio, all of it. He's amazing. So, and Vilmos doing JackieKashianStore.com. Squarespace is doing the regular Jackie Kashian page, and I'm thinking of moving the Dork Forest and dorkforest.com away from WordPress because it's driving me nuts. But those are the credits. But if you go to JackieKashian.com, you can get Dork Forest merch. You can get my stand-up merch. You can get my stand-up CDs and DVDs, which you'd have to have devices for those. You can also see videos and find out any number of things. I have another podcast called The Jackie and Laurie Show, but the Dork Forest is the flagship. 18th year. We're doing it, you guys. You can go to my Bandcamp or my YouTube for extra content. Please donate, is what I'm saying. It's 2024, and I think we've been in this long enough. Why don't you guys, everybody send me $100? That's what I'd like you to do. You can PayPal me. There's links all over the pages. You can Venmo me at Jackie Kashian. You can find me at a stand-up show and hand me a sweaty wad of 20s. Do something. But I love doing the show. I would love to make some money, is what I'd like to do. In other news, I'm sure there's more things that I should talk about, but I can't think of them. But let's listen to who's going to dork out about something, because that's my favorite part. Thanks for listening, you guys. You're all great. Let's get into the show. Rangers, it's me, Jackie Kashian, sitting in my garage. And it's the third of the Firecracker Comedy Trio album coming out August 22nd. And this one, Kate Strobel, welcome to the program.
Woo!
Woo! That's it. And your Instagram is kate.strobel. Of course, yes. Of course. And so, all right. So what I've discussed with your fellows is your fellow firecrackers is some roller skating, some boxing, some breakdancing,
yeah,
and some house music. So where we're going to go with you are the things that Kate Strobel likes. What do you enjoy? You live in New York City and like one of the parks so bad that you got a tattoo on your person. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. Yeah, I guess I'm not as into physical activity as the other two, but a gentle stroll in the park is more my vibe.
Very nice. Which park? It's not Central. That's all I remember.
It's not. So I am deeply in love with Prospect Park, which is Brooklyn's Central Park.
Oh, Brooklyn Park. Okay.
It's the equivalent of Central Park to Brooklyn. And it was even designed by the same two men, Frederick Olmsted and Calvert Vaux, who designed Central Park.
Okay.
And so
somebody did an episode just on Olmsted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I forget who that was, but there is a Dork Forest just about Frederick Olmsted and how much he loved his works. So
well, I'll have to listen to that.
He designed the Prospect Park as well.
Yes, correct.
All right. Well, cool. Is it square? Is it a rectangle like Central Park?
Is
there anything like it?
Shape. It's almost like a rhombus in a way, and it's very angled on the north and south sides. It sort of has like a diamond, like an sort of offset diamond rhombus shape to it.
Okay.
I moved to Brooklyn in October of 2023 from Denver. And I also grew up in Colorado, so I have like a deep relationship with nature. And I think
You're an outdoorsy people.
I am an outdoorsy
Colorado
people for
folk.
sure. We are. That's all beer, hiking, biking, climbing.
Subarus up high, being able to breathe and a mile into the sky.
Yes.
Congratulations. I cannot.
I know.
I always
It's
have to get those
impressive.
boost things. I have to get the
Hmm.
oxygen, the handheld oxygen jobbers.
Oh, so you're doing
And
that on stage?
oh yeah, just doing little whippets of oxygen of O2. And
Does it feel
yep,
good? Do you feel the effects of that?
I do. I don't know if it's a placebo. I mean, they might be selling me an empty can. You don't know.
That's true.
So
It doesn't ever matter as long as you think you're feeling
the
it. You're good.
psychological, yeah, it's fine. I try to drink more water, all the things. So when
Yeah.
you moved to Brooklyn from Denver, did you go out sort of in search of a space, of like an outdoor space?
I did. And I moved to a neighborhood right off of the park called Park Slope. And I didn't
Okay,
really know why or what I was doing other than actually Salma Zaki, who's another one of the Firecracker group.
right.
We
Previous
moved here
episode.
together from Denver, kind of came
Okay,
up in the Denver comedy scene. And all we knew is that we wanted to live close to this venue, Union Hall, and that our
okay.
dream was to run Firecracker at Union Hall, which came true. We run it there now. And
Oh
so because of that, we
well,
moved
I
to
didn't.
Park. Oh, sorry, I was going to say because of that, we moved to Park
No,
Slope, which is the neighborhood that Union Hall is in.
okay, all right. Well, my I have a very complicated relationship with Brooklyn. I can't find my way
Mm,
around, and I end up spending hundreds of dollars on Lyft. So
mm.
that's the way it goes. But so Union Hall is there, and
Hmm.
you run a regular. Is it a weekly comedy show or is it monthly? What is it?
It's monthly, inconsistently,
Okay.
so it's not like a specific day. We get like
Okay.
a
So what's
date,
the is
one
the
day of the
album?
month. That's it.
Okay. And is the album just the three of you, or is the album people also from Firecracker the show?
The album is just the three of us. We each do 20 minutes, so it's an hour long.
Oh,
But it
cool.
is an homage to the show that we started kind of like a little cult indie show in Denver that was actually in a tattoo studio. And so we
Okay.
went back to Denver last September during the High Plains Comedy Festival, and we threw the album recording with Blonde Medicine in that tattoo studio. So
Oh,
what
fun.
like the audience that is on that, while they're not like other people that are part of Firecracker, is the audience that we had kind of built during the years of doing that show there. So it felt like
Oh,
a really
the
special sort
historical
of
Denver.
homecoming.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so Prospect Park is a rhombus. You have a tattoo of that park. What is in Prospect Park? Is there a carousel? Is there a zoo?
There's a carousel and a zoo, Jackie. there's
What
there's
is there
so many
really?
things. Yeah, there's a carousel and a zoo. Hmm.
I love a carousel. I'm
Yeah,
okay with a zoo. The zoo always makes me want to break them out,
agreed.
but I get it. I mean, animals would have died if we wouldn't have zooed them. So
That's what I
we
tell
just
myself. I'm like, everyone that's in there needed to be in there because they wouldn't have been able to survive in the wild, and
right.
it's all okay.
There would have been some bullet head out in the world who would have said, "I got the last one," and you're like, you know that makes you a bad person.
Right.
Anyway, so so is it huge like Central Park? Like trying to walk around Central Park is a real, like, it's a day, and
It
then
is a
I
day.
don't feel like I've seen everything I wanted to see anyway.
Yeah.
Like, because you
It's
miss different park parts.
totally. It's not quite as large as Central Park. I don't know how many acres Central Park is, but Prospect Park is like 530 acres, I think. It's
Oh
still
wow,
really massive. And
yeah,
you
that's
you can't explore all of it in a day. And kind of what was really interesting about it to me too, like kind of connected back to coming from Colorado and wanting to connect with nature, is that what Olmsted and Vox wanted to achieve in, or I guess it should say, what they didn't get to achieve in the Central Park design, they really set out to achieve in the Prospect Park design, which was a complete and total sense of losing yourself in nature, in forest, while still being in the city. So while you're in Central Park,
oh
you can still see extremely high skyscrapers, especially the like Billionaire Row, which is these like super, super tall, really skinny skyscrapers.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
still see those buildings while you're in Central Park. While you're in Prospect Park, you're truly just in the woods. There's no sense of being in a city. And you can really lose yourself in the trails in there. It really feels like it's Brooklyn's only natural
Oh,
forest, and there's so many trails through forested woodland area that
okay.
you know you can really you can spend a lot of time trying to explore all of it. It's really cool.
Well, I'm coming to Brooklyn with Maria. I'm just opening at Bell House, I think.
Awesome.
And
That is
so
very close to Prospect Park.
is it right by Union Hall, possibly?
It is, yes.
All right. I am more than I have hair issues. Okay, so
So do I.
right, but the yeah, I think I want to go walking around. I think I
Yeah.
want to go through the. So there's just cool. Are they dirt trails? Are they wood? Are they or are they paved through the
They're,
woods?
I would say, in between.
Asphalt.
There's
Okay.
there's paved ones if that's more your speed. There's completely dirt ones, but I would say they're doing like a mulching operation right now, where they're putting a lot of mulch like on the dirt trails. But
Oh, okay.
there's both. You can have a paved experience and a non-paved, or hiking on a
Well,
trail
because
experience.
right, because I think about those people who run, right?
Mm-hmm.
The runners
Yeah,
of the world. They like to sometimes they like to run barefoot.
they do.
Sometimes they like to run on asphalt and sometimes they just like to run on dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And so are all three of those sort of available?
All are available. So if
It's
you're a
do you-
barefoot runner, a mud runner, a street runner, you can do it. You can do it
you
all
can
in
do it.
Prospect
You can
Park.
find it. All right. So is there now this is where I become interested. Is there a coffee shop? Is there a
Yes.
restaurant in it? Yeah.
Yes. There's two. At
Okay.
the boathouse, which is this really beautiful marble columned white boathouse on there's there so throughout the park runs something called the water course, which starts in the woodland area called the ravine. There's like a beautiful waterfall that starts the water course, and it runs all the way down into this really large lake at the south side of the park. And the boathouse is kind of in the middle of that trajectory, but it's a large area where the water sort of starts to expand from cascading waterfalls into more of a pond. And it is just a really beautiful
Well,
structure. And there is a
Kate
cafe
Strobel seems to have
there.
frozen.
I think it's called Purslane
And
Cafe.
it's weird
But one of
because
my favorite things to
her
do
roommate,
is get a coffee there
who
and then
just did this
sit.
show 2
There's
days
cute
ago,
little tables.
they live in the same space.
Sit
And I
out
think
on that waterfront there
they have the same
with
internet.
the beautiful
But
boathouse.
I've made note
And
of the time code.
right, and
And
there's
we
like a
will
beautiful
see if she comes
bridge
back.
there
She
too that I think was
might
built in 1902 or something. I'm trying to think of the date that's on it,
be
but
still talking. Can't
it's a
tell.
beautiful
Nope,
scene. So
kicked
you
out.
can get coffee there and
I would
really
like to
enjoy yourself
pause.
there. And then there's more of a restaurant.
So I forgot what you were saying, but I did because what happened was is the internet went away and then you came back. But we were it was
I
so I mean,
was,
oh, the waterway. It was the water thing.
yep. So I was describing places that you could get coffee or food. One of which is this cafe at the boathouse. There's a little, it's called Purslane Cafe. And it's just so beautiful there. The water is gorgeous. The boathouse is gorgeous. There's this bridge in the backdrop of all of these trees that reflect off the water, and they have little tables there. And I love to sit there in the mornings and drink a coffee and journal a little bit. That's one of my
Oh
favorite
my
spots.
gosh. So you could get up in your apartment in New York City, Brooklyn,
Hmm.
walk to this boathouse, essentially be just taken into like some sort of like where it just feels rural and but gorgeous and curated because it's some sort of
Yes.
marble edifice. and
Yes,
and
exactly.
and then there's tiny tables where you could sit and journal and drink a cup of coffee.
Yep.
All right. I would like to grow up and live there forever, please. That's
Me too. That's why I got this tattoo on my calf.
that's it. Now, what did you get a tattoo of the map of the of the park, or did you get a tattoo of part of park that you like the best?
I got a topographic map of the park.
Okay.
I'm like wondering if I could show it to you, but
Wow.
it's sort of set in that shape of the park. There's no border around the outside, but you'll see a lot of small circles around the topography of the park, and then it's all black with a lot of really detailed line work. Some lighter black lines, some darker black lines to indicate differences in the topography. And then the water course itself, which runs from that kind of initial waterfall I was telling you about all the way down to the lake. And this is a self-sufficient water process where they pump the water back up from the lake to the top of the waterfall, and it kind of all runs and trickles down past the boathouse, through the forest area, into the lake.
So it's a water feature. It's man-made.
Yes, a man-made water feature.
That's awesome.
And I guess originally when they created the lake, they didn't fill it, like put a lining on the bottom of the lake. And so all of the water was just seeping out into the ground below, and they were having to refill it every day, essentially. And then they were like, oh, shit, we should put a lining in.
Yeah. Did you want to actually just keep this going, or do you want to just open the taps every day? What?
So the water course itself is all in like a really pretty blue color of my tattoo.
Oh, okay. Can you do those swan boats? Do they have those pedal boats that people do?
They do. They do.
Have you ever done that?
Yes, I love it.
I had not heard of it, and then I saw that we have a big park like that here in LA, in my neighborhood, called Balboa Park, and I was like, well, this looks very romantic. I would like to do this, and we went, and it was $12 each, and what we had paid to do was pedal for 1 hour, and I was like, I would like to be on the shore and watch other people pedal, and then look at the cool swan boats. So, yeah, I like sailing. I don't want to pedal, and sailing is enough work. Yes,
it's sort of a ridiculous like foot motion though that is silly. Like the whole process of being on one of those and doing that with your feet. And just knowing that people are looking at you and you're in a big swan, there's something you just have to let go and be like,
oh yeah, you got to embrace it and just go,
yeah,
I'm in a big swan, you guys. And there is so much joy to be had, because I don't know, like I think about my poor siblings and how they didn't really have childhoods just because they had to raise me and themselves. And but now as they get into their twilight years, they have been more childlike in their adulthood. I think because you can't, right? Like you make you and so it's why there's and they are, I think, the first generation of like people who there was enough money that you could collect bullshit. So and like I think they're all boomers except me. I'm Gen X, whatever. But it doesn't matter. And yeah.
I connect with that. I'm the youngest by far. I have half siblings who are like 25 years older than me, and then even my full brother and sister are 10 years older than me, and so they also raised me and have had a certain renaissance with just
one of
letting go in adulthood. And I think that's kind of, even if you had an amazing childhood, I think the goal is to always
re-embrace that childlikeness. Is, I mean, according to all the meditation manuals, they're like trying to get in touch with we're all trying to get in touch with our inner child and heal it and explore it and expand it. But my brother is an econ professor, is taking online poetry classes. He is he's he pretends he's a Republican pretender. He hasn't voted Republican in about 20 years, and which makes him acceptable in my life, honestly, because there's trouble in the United States. So yes, but like my oldest brother has started playing pool again, like professionally, like a weirdo, and he's 70.
Yeah. Well, that's
And
adorable.
Yes, it's adorable. And then my second oldest brother has, in the last 20 odd years, just doubled down with this fly fishing business. So, they all have. My sister loves Legos. She has a Lego telephone. She makes Legos. She loves the pool like a child. She's like, let's go to the pool. Like, she's not doing laps. She's just splashing around.
I'm going to jump in and you catch me, Jackie.
Yes, I'm going to slide down this. I'm going to slide down this thing. She joined a country club so that she could always go to a pool.
Wow.
Which you know what that means? She doesn't have money to join a country club.
Right.
And has decided to use that money to have a pool. Because she lives in Minnesota, and you can have an outdoor, like above ground, but below ground is just dumb. So,
yeah.
Are there pools? Is there a swimming pool, like a public swimming pool in Prospect?
There is not a public. Wow, everything you've asked me, Jackie, I've been like, yes, there's a carousel.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a zoo. Yes, there are swan boats. But unfortunately, there's not a pool. But I did this past weekend. I was hanging out in the park, and I witnessed these people setting up 4 slip-and slides in a rectangular shape. And so they were laying down a tarp, and then at the bottom of the first tarp was a kiddie pool. Okay. And then they lay down a second tarp and a kiddie pool at the bottom of that, and then a third and a kiddie pool at the bottom, and in forming like kind of like a perfect diamond of this.
Okay.
And I was like, what are they doing? How are they going to get water? What is this? Why are there 4 of the, like 4 total slip and slides?
Right.
And then they started just lubing up the tarps with baby oil and laundry soap. And then 3 more people came in with like jugs of water to fill up the kiddie pools. They were like throwing ice in there. And I still was like, what is this going to be? They proceeded to play a kickball game where actually each of the kiddie pools was a base. And to run between the bases, you had to slip and slide into the next base, which was the kiddie pool. Because if you attempted to run on it, they would ridiculously fall down. And
that is amazing.
It was really quite entertaining to watch.
I bet. Were they any good at the baseball?
I would say no.
No, not particularly.
No.
That was entirely,
and especially the like soapier they got, the more worse they got at being able to throw or catch.
Fair enough, because they were just full of. Now, why do I think Prospect Park has like an old cemetery attached to it? Have you seen that?
It doesn't have a cemetery attached to it, but very close by, and perhaps maybe even historically they were connected, but very close by is Greenwood Cemetery, which is you could easily walk from one to the other. They're so close to each other.
And like 1700s and like old timey buried people, grave sites.
Yes. A lot of what are the above ground mausoleumy things. And that is also, the cemetery is also around 500 acres. It's huge.
Oh, wow.
And the cemetery is so beautiful. In the spring is my favorite place to go. It has the largest, like oldest magnolia trees I've seen in the city. And when they are in full bloom, it is almost beyond like human comprehension how beautiful magnolia flowers are.
Right. It's
there, I guess they're prehistoric. They predate the dinosaurs. Magnolia trees.
Oh, in magnolia trees in general.
Have been around on Earth
for over
longer than the dinosaurs,
20,000 years, or What I don't
Yes.
have is a lot of dinosaur information, but there you go.
Yeah, me either. The dinosaurs were here and magnolia trees were also here, and we don't have to worry about when that was.
Dinosaurs went away. Magnolia's still hanging.
Magnolia
And
stayed.
yep.
And yeah, they because they predate bees, they're actually pollinated by beetles, magnolia trees.
What?
And yeah,
How do you know that? That's a huge fun fact. That's amazing.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I guess I know that because so spring in New York blew my mind. My first spring here. Colorado is very like high altitude, arid climate, and there are flowers that bloom, but there's not this lush greenery. And New York City is like in the spring, it's just everywhere you're walking. There's Japanese blossoms. There's just the most beautiful floral abundance that I've seen in my life. And so I really fell in love with magnolia trees and wanted to learn everything about them. And so
Right.
that is why I know the beetle pollination fact.
Right. That is crazy. That's amazing, actually. I do love New York, and it's so funny because it's so like the first time I went to New York was in 1985, and it was gross. And and everybody was like, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And I was like, I don't want to be this tough. I'm good. And but then, like, I think in 2003 or 2004, I went back, and I stayed there for a couple of months. And it was after, I think it was Giuliani who turned it into like, he sold it out essentially and gentrified the hell out of it. And I will say this, the gentrification, it would be nice if there were a balance, right? Like if you could gentrify something and keep the locals, like
Right.
where you didn't have to kick everybody out of St. Paul, Minnesota, because you wanted to renovate it and just go, if you could move.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so complicated. I don't know what the answer to that is. I know there are many cities that have tried like a dual, like new development in a neighborhood and subsidized housing remaining in that neighborhood at the same time and just trying to maintain that. And some
Right,
have
and
worked, some
I
have
think
not.
I think that has worked. I think some people
Yeah.
it has worked. I think it's certainly worth more of an effort, and I know that the
Definitely.
profit margin isn't as great, but we're going to find out. We're going to really find out that any economic system on the very ends of it don't work. Like it has to be an amalgamation of all different economic systems for it to really work out. And
Right.
if it's just all on one end of the capitalism spectrum, it's going to work as poorly as all on the other end of a corrupt communist system, right? So it's just you got to give it a shot. It's not.
You got to give it a shot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think these new luxury buildings that are just going up on every corner will probably start to crumble because they're so shittily built so quickly.
Are they not well built?
I mean, I don't have any like facts of like buildings are falling down, but everything is done as quickly as possible with as quickly sourced materials as possible with as little labor as possible. So of course there are shortcuts taken where money can be saved in all of those situations, and that is the effect of late stage capitalism is just cut the corners at the detriment of our own health and safety.
It's true. I will say that Los Angeles has, and most of California, because of the earthquakes, that nobody kids around when they're building a building. They're just like, no, we're going to want to still have a building here after the next big earthquake. So that I do think that, like, I'm in a room that was built by three guys, and it is incredibly well built. So, and it's just a room attached to my garage. And
how do you know that? Because you've really been putting it to the test, just smashing into the walls.
Because we've had a couple of earthquakes, and I watched them build it. So it was It was, and but and these are not, this is obviously not like an apartment building or anything. This is a rhombus shaped room attached to my garage where there used to be a spider shed. And just in an effort to have a place to do podcasts. So
Yeah.
it's all right. Well, here's the thing. What else you want to tell me about this park? And then maybe we go on to a second dorkdom. What do you think?
Okay. I'm trying to think. One thing I'm a little sad about that I learned recently, there's an area of the park called the Vale of Kashmir,
Okay.
which actually I have a picture of the Vale.
The Vale of Kashmir.
In its prime, I don't know when this photo was taken.
Okay.
But it is this beautiful, lush, this is basically a big fountain with like all of this really lush,
Old trees. Yeah.
multi-tiered trees, which that multi-tiered like leveling of trees really makes for great bird habitats. So this is one of the most highly sought after birding locations in the city.
Okay.
But that fountain that you can kind of see, like there's actually water in it in this picture, and there are these like beautiful marble columns. When this photo was taken, it has really fallen apart and not been restored at all. In fact, well, Prospect Park right now, to live anywhere around the park is extremely expensive. It's so sought after. It is like Brooklyn's community. It's a backyard, but in the 60s through even into the early 90s, it was not nice and not maintained. And you did not want to go into Prospect Park at night. And you didn't really want to buy real estate around Prospect Park. It was just not a good area.
Right.
And
that makes sense.
The Prospect Park Alliance was formed to really attempt to restore the park. And I listened actually to a podcast interview. I think the president of the Prospect Park Alliance was saying, we knew we were doing a good job when in the 90s, the property prices started going up, and that this once again became a sought after place to live.
Okay.
But they only get so much grant money from the city every year. They can only restore so much, and they really try to restore in the vision that Olmsted and Vox originally had for the park. They really take that history into account.
Yeah.
And they've done so much restoration. But one of the neglected areas of the park is the Vale of Kashmir. That fountain sits empty with like all these like kind of overrun cattails and other sort of like invasive plants that are ugly, but contribute to the incredible birding experience that happens there.
Okay.
And then there's also this sort of like cleared out lawn area with three very large empty fountains. And you really feel like when you're in that lawn, there's kind of like bushes, but beautiful green grass, and then an empty fountain, and a series of three of these that like cascade down for probably the length of a football field.
Okay.
And it feels when you're standing there that you are in Pride and Prejudice. Like you are on some beautifully manicured, like
lawn.
England lawn. Even though the fountains are empty and haven't been restored, they have this really special, like, this is just a gorgeous, really like no one's ever over here, very tranquil place to be. And that area also has a really large queer history as well. It's one of the main places where gay people went to cruise in the 70s, 80s onward. I'm trying to cruise there, but nobody's picking me up.
It's been gentrified too greatly.
Yeah. But so I actually went on a gay birding tour during Pride Month, and I learned that they're finally restoring the Vale of Kashmir. And they were showing me the pictures of what they're going to do. And they're like putting in a public bathroom that is like this big wood structure. And I agree the park needs more bathrooms, but they're getting rid of the fountains. They're putting in a kind of wild field of that'll be like a pollinator
Okay.
situation with like a big structure to like gaze into that.
Okay.
And construction on that is starting this fall. And I actually feel a little heartbroken about it because I love how wild and solid, like how much
Right.
solitude you can find in that area today.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just really going to miss that. So I'm trying to go as
Yeah.
often as possible to just hang out there and
Is,
experience
is
it.
that what they're calling in on the Wikipedia? They're calling it the Long Meadow. Is that what that is?
No, the Long Meadow is a
Okay.
different area.
Okay. So
But the
this is
Long Meadow is extremely impressive and where most people hang. Like if you were like, I'm going to go meet my friends in the park, you
yeah.
would probably be hanging out in the Long Meadow, which is truly just a huge, expansive. I mean, at the time, even Central Park didn't have this large of
A clearing. Yeah. Just
open clearing for gathering.
okay.
And it has continued today. Like when you walk through the park on the weekend, there's just so many people. It's such a community
Can you
space
grill?
in the Long Meadow.
Do
You
they have?
can grill.
You can grill.
Hmm.
Do they have
They got
grills that you can
grills.
use? Okay, that's great.
They have charcoal grills.
Good. That's
Hmm.
kind of cool. I see that they also have horseback riding and ice skating. Have you seen that?
Hmm. I have seen some. Well, I haven't. I have seen horses, but more often I'm seeing shit. So there's
Okay.
evidence of the horses. The
Right.
horses have been there.
Right. There's definitely people riding horses through that park. And
Yeah.
and how about the ice skating? Have you seen that?
Yeah, ice skating's great. It's in this area called Lafrac, which in the summer there's a lot of roller skating and roller derby that you can go watch some badass chicks smash each
Okay.
other, and it's awesome.
There's like a roller
And
derby rink kind of thing.
yeah,
Oh,
the
that's
ice rink
cool.
becomes just a regular skating rink during the summer for roller
And
skating and
is there a skate park in
rollerblading.
the middle of it, like for skateboards and stuff at all? Have you seen any of that?
There's not a skateboarding skate park there.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, but then there's probably a band shell. Is there a band shell?
There is a band shell. There is, and the concerts at the band shell are free. I remember
Yep.
actually last summer I was on a little bit of mushrooms on a walk,
Sure.
and I heard music,
A
and
little
I had a little bit of a spiritual walk.
Mm-hmm.
I heard music. I walked over to the band shell, and remember going up and being like, "Oh, I'll just stay outside and listen." And they were like, "It's free," and I was
Yeah.
like, "It's free?" And they were like, "Yes." And I just went in, and the band that was playing was called The Sacred Souls, with a very like
That's
soulful rhythm and
appropriate.
blues
Sure.
band, and it was incredible and free. And
Yeah.
I think the park just offers so much to the Brooklyn community like that. It's a really amazing place to be.
It really does. It does sound great. And are there so there's a couple of places to sit down and get coffee or a sandwich or whatever. But
Yep.
and then are there food trucks and ice cream?
There's not this. I wouldn't say there's food trucks, but
Okay.
actually, okay. On Sundays, there's something called Smorgasbord, which is a ton of food trucks and
Okay.
vendors, and that's in one particular area of the park. But on a day-to-day basis, there's always hot dog carts.
Sure. New York hot dog carts. Yep.
And definitely ice cream vendors as well. A lot of people coming around with the little bell and the little
Sure.
push carts to sell you
Yep.
ice cream. And when you're sitting in the Long Meadow, there's a lot of people that also sell homemade alcoholic beverages.
Oh, they're just working the meadow? They're just working the
They're
meadow.
just working the meadow. Mm-hmm.
And so it sounds
Yep.
like a great way to go
They're
blind. Yes.
Yeah, they're called nutcrackers.
Okay.
Nutcrackers, and usually it's some sort of rum. It's like there's a big Caribbean community in Brooklyn,
Okay.
and usually it's a sort of a nutcracker. Usually consists of a rum punch type of situation that will get
Okay.
you very fucked up. Yeah.
Sure. I saw Annie. Bathtub gin. It'll make you blind. I'd rather they were just selling like just cans. I wish it was just
Right.
you guys. I have a 12 pack on me. You want to buy a beer? And but
No,
I get
you
it.
have to really like take the like, well, I don't know what I'm getting into here.
Exactly. And when I used to drink and do drugs, people could hand me things and I would drink and just eat them. And then I wasn't killed, you guys.
So you're not going on spiritual mushroom walks.
I'm not, though I do have some friends who do microdose mushrooms. They find it soothing. And I was like, well, I bet. Because to be completely present at all times, it's you got to find something. I tend to rock back and forth and try to believe in something. So that's my plan. Anyway, so I'm doing a little prayer, looking for some sort of God of my understanding. Thank you very much. And so what you did say though is that you are always looking for new music. I have to tell you that I have been listening to the same 113 songs for about 15 or 20 years, and I will find a new song occasionally, but I don't actively go out and look for music. How do you actively, like, I know people who do, but I've never really talked to them about how you do it. Like,
well,
when you were a kid,
definitely changed throughout my life. And when I was younger, I'm 35. So when I would say I was 12 or 13, something that was really coming on to the scene was MySpace. And MySpace, then when I like kind of moved into middle school and high school, MySpace launched this whole music.
They were entirely about
like
music.
Side thing. And people were uploading all of their music, and you could spend hours on these like discover artist pages. People had just put their music out there themselves. And so my strategy then, I've always sort of been obsessed with this. Like, I want to find music. I love the feeling, like you said, sometimes you find a new song and that's exciting. But I love that feeling of, oh, this is a new song that I really like, and I'm going to listen to it a lot, and it's going to remind me of this period of my life, and it's going to stick with me forever, and I'm in love with it. Like, that is a high to me that I chase. And
that
so
is fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think, because there's songs that definitely like, there's definitely songs that remind you of things that happened, right? Little Red Corvette come to mind, that Edie Brickell album that one year. Like, it's weird. What, do you remember the first one? Or an early song that you just...
This is so weird, but it's because my dad was obsessed with this song, and I don't think anyone knows it, but there's this band called Sonia Dada. And there's this song called Lover, You Don't Treat Me No Good No More. And my dad, my vacations as a kid were just going camping. And my dad would just play that song.
Oh, Colorado.
Constantly. And I remember being like 6 years old and just always singing that song and being obsessed with it and loving the way there's kind of like hand drums that come in, and there's this sort of clapping like that happens that I found like I couldn't wait for that part to hit.
Right. It looks like it's a 4-minute song, and it's a guy on top of an alligator.
It is a guy on top of an alligator. Yeah,
a kid, a child, and it is. That's cool. So is that just guitar rock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I think now, I mean, things have changed so much. And then, I used to illegally download those songs on LimeWire and burn a CD.
Sure.
Now Spotify has kind of changed everything in a way that is like this app is trying to learn the thing that is the most precious thing in the world to me. And sometimes it does recommend me things I want. And then I'm like, oh, I am grateful for you knowing that. And then other times with anything, terrified of these like large language models that are learning everything about our behavior.
Right. Because, you
But
know
I
what?
would say,
They are tools. Yes.
yeah, I would say I spend a lot of time on Reddit to find new music. Other than what Spotify suggests me, Reddit is such a great
What do you
community for
search under? Do
anything.
you search under genre?
Yeah, there's a channel called Indie Heads that I'm in that I probably look at the most often. And that is the concept there is just like not mainstream music, but it can be across all genres from just like weird sound music that was just released to, just like there's more independent artists.
Okay.
Hmm. And
Right. It was yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say people are very passionate about music in that channel. And so I can sort of read people's comments and see what they're resonating with. And then I'm really obsessed with lyrics. So people might pull out lyrics and be like, wow, what a turn of phrase. And then I'll kind of be like, oh, I want to listen to that song. And so I think people being as like neurotically obsessed with music as me in that specific way, I find a lot of community in Reddit for that and then find music
That's
from that.
That's cool. I have only recently, and this probably the last 5 or so years, realized that a lot of the funniest lines in comedy are 26-year-old women singing. Like they're the
What do you
lyrics in
mean?
different music, like Janelle Monáe, and
Oh.
has some line. This is the first time I remember noticing it. She literally was literally complaining about some dude, and in the song, and the line was, "Get off my areola," and it literally it clicked with me, and I was like, "Oh my god, that is so funny." And when I was thinking, and then sometimes I'll listen to the music and I'll listen to the lyrics, and I've recently gone back, like some of the older songs, and the lyrics are creepy as all hell. It's like, oh, she's a little
Mm,
girl and I made her fall in love with me. And you're like,
yeah.
dude, it's actually not okay. And
Yeah.
what is happening? And so you listen to the 60s and 70s songs and you're like, okay, I think that's date rape, buddy.
Yeah. Like,
And
hey, little mama, is your daddy home? It's like, what?
exactly. Even even like Springsteen and stuff like that, where you're just like,
Yeah.
okay, I still like this, and I don't think you're a horrible person. I think it was of its time, right?
Yeah.
And but then when you listen to the new lyrics, and it's just a lot of, you're out of your damn mind. Why are
Yeah.
you talking to me? And Sarah Bareilles has a lot of lyrics that make me laugh sometimes.
Hmm.
And then, but there was some guy, it was a hip hop song about how he had broken up with this woman, but he was still going to pay her rent. And I just wanted to go, hey man, no. You got to like yourself more, man. She's taking advantage of you, brother. You just gotta let her go. Let her go completely. Let her pay her own rent.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. So
it's hard to like older music, like the 60s, the 70s. There's so much culturally happening there.
Right.
And it's a time that is so fun to revisit because there's so much lore around these bands. And I feel like I don't have that as much with modern artists. Like, of course, Janelle Monáe is incredible. But, whatever weird drama is going on with like Chapel Roan right now, it's not the extent of like the lore. I feel like this past weekend, and this happens often where I'm like back in a Leonard Cohen phase.
Okay.
But I really felt that I needed to end a relationship that I'm in, even though I'm deeply in love with this person. And it would be a really horrifying, sad choice, but it's a choice I have to make for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And on Leonard Cohen's last album before he died, the album's called You Want It Darker.
Okay.
There's a song called On the Level. And there's a lyric that I find both funny and it was perfectly exemplary of this feeling. But the lyric is, they ought to give my heart a medal for letting go of you. And so I was listening to that song to
Oh,
get in the
wow.
headspace to do the breakup of like, even though this is this extremely excruciating experience, I can do it.
Right.
And, I can put like a little medal on my heart for being like, damn, look at that. Look what that heart just did.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Right. The lyrics are amazing. The poetry is
yes.
real, you know?
Yes.
And I
It is
understand that
amazing.
there's poetry as well as lyrics that are poetry, but
Hmm.
I don't read poetry. And I listen to I listen to music more than I read poetry.
I
So,
think I listen to music as if I were reading poetry. Like I have a few poetry books, and similar to your brother, I like did a poetry class and was like, this is gonna be it. And then I was like, ah. But
this isn't it.
I I read lyrics, like I will Google the lyrics as I'm
Okay.
listening to the song, and I will read them as the song is playing. And in that way, it feels like I'm reading a poem, and I'm really trying to understand the experience that the singer is talking about
Yeah.
and the lines themselves. Whereas I think some people just listen to music and they're like, I like the way the music sounds.
Yep.
And I'm not as tuned into that, like the like percussion or the bass line or the way that things
Vocals.
crescendo.
Yeah.
I'm much more tapped into like the lyrics and the human experience of the song.
That's cool. It was I was in a restaurant in where was I? I was in a restaurant in Manchester, England, a week and a half or so ago, and there was a band that came up that I'm going to see if I can find the song. Interesting. Did not favorite it. Good for me. So let's see if I put it on this one. It's something called "Kick It to Me" by a woman called Sammy Ray and the Friends.
Okay, I don't know.
And I don't know if she's British. I don't know if she's French. But Sammy Ray and the Friends, "Kick It to Me." I literally I listened to that saxophone that it starts out with, and I'm like, oh, this is gorgeous. And um and then like I've actually picked up. I was in a town that there was a Shakira concert, and Maria Bamford and I were doing this town where there was also a Shakira, and we were driving through the fans, and
Mhm.
Maria was like, "Look, they've got their buns out for the show," and because they want to dance, and so it reminded me that Shakira is amazing, and so I just put Shakira into the. For some reason, I never got into Spotify, and I just
Mhm.
added it to my Amazon Prime account. So I'm 100 years old. I guess nobody is fucking listening to Amazon Prime, or Amazon Music. But it's called Prince Royce and Shakira, and it's a duet called Deja Vu,
Mm. Okay.
and it is, you know, I mean, song lyrics are just incredibly powerful. There was a song when I was a little kid when I grew up on Lake Michigan called "The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald," and it
Okay.
is by Gordon Lightfoot, and it is the story of how like a shipping ship sunk in Lake Superior and
Okay.
39 people died. And
Oh wow.
the right, and I used to cry every time it came on. I was like, this is so sad. And my husband's a game designer, and he he's working on this tabletop role playing game where you get to play superheroes, and the sample he writes a storyline for different conventions, gaming conventions he goes to. So the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald was an earworm in the heroes because it was Great Lakes Avengers and Alpha Flight, which is the
Mhm.
Canadian version of the Avengers. It's a Marvel, whatever. But you could be any of those superheroes. But the earworm was the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
That's so
And I had
cool.
forgotten about that song entirely.
Yeah. And did it
until he
bring you
did
to
it.
tears again?
It really does. I put it on my song and I was like, oh man, the legend lives on from the Chippewa on down to the big lake they call Gitche Gumee. It's been, the cook comes out and he goes, hey guys, it's been good to know you. And then the ship sinks. It's ridiculous. So
And you're
it is
sobbing.
what it is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Totally.
Right. Puff the Magic Dragon, when I was a kid, we used to sing it when I was little. Because I grew up at a time when we had music classes in grade school. And we would sing, and we sang Puff the Magic Dragon, and and we were 7, 8 years old, and all the girls would be crying, just singing Puff the Magic. She's like, oh, Puffy dies. And, if you listen to the lyrics now, it's about him growing up away from childhood, which is also sad. But when I was 7, I was singing because I thought the dragon died. And
yeah.
he didn't actually die. And he comes back at the end of it's about rediscovering childhood. Yeah.
Hey,
And I think,
full circle with our conversation too.
right? And my music teacher
it's all
was
about rediscovering childhood.
Exactly. The music teacher was probably in her mid-20s, and she wore all of these gauzy things. I remember as a little kid going, she dressed like she's a dragonfly. And because it was all of these layers of gauze, and it was very beautiful. I can't remember her name. Good for her. But
Yeah.
so if it's mostly the lyrics, and you're listening to Leonard Cohen, and you're listening to, does it get into pop? Does it get into hip hop? Does it cross genres?
I don't have a deep spiritual connection to many pop lyrics, I would say, but I definitely enjoy pop music because you can't always be in that brooding, introspective place. I mean, Janelle Monáe is an example of that. She's just so fun to listen to.
Yep.
And make you feel good and make you want to dance. And that can be an amazing music experience as well. I think it's just when you're looking for, like, I'm looking for a feeling in the song that is the feeling I have right now, which this past weekend was heartbreak. Then you go into Leonard Cohen. But when you're like, I am looking to enjoy life and the sun is out and I'm on a lovely walk in the park and I just had coffee and I'm buzzing, then it's like pop is great.
Yeah, because it keeps you going, wakes you up, gets you in the mood to do things. It's so interesting. I used to listen to a lot of hip hop in the late 90s. And there was a woman I worked with at one of my last day jobs in Minneapolis. It was a closed captioning company, and she was Native American, and she hated hip hop. And she was like, "Why do you listen to this?" And I said, "Sometimes I just like to listen to it because it's political and it gets me mad." And she's like, "You need music to get mad? What's happening?" And I was like, "Fair enough, yes. Cynthia. Fair enough. I am a white woman." So I might need a pep talk.
Admittedly, I do run, usually on asphalt versus dirt trails.
Sure.
But I love running to hip hop because the lyrics are it takes your mind out of the grueling physical experience you're having, which is keep running. I don't know why I'm doing this. And you're focused on this like narrative that is so fast and so much that you're taking in and trying to digest all at once that it also makes you want to just like, I want to fucking run and like make it up the hill. It's like very inspirational, but also I think the complexity of what's being said, how quickly it's being said, the references that you're like, oh shit, did he just say that? Like, that keeps you in a really good headspace to forget about the fact that you're running.
Right. You're just repetitively doing something over and over again without any purpose except for to do it. I did read a murder mystery book once where this guy was running, and then it came of use. He started running, and then at the end of the book, the fact that he could run 2.5, 3 miles, made it
Saved his
possible,
life.
saved his life, and it made it possible for him to catch the bad guy. So
Oh,
that's right.
wow.
Mm-hmm. Who knew?
So
Who knew
do
that
we
it could
need
be with you?
to get in shape? What's
That's
are we gonna be okay?
I do have actual friends who are like, we got to work out, we got to be ready to get in shape because the Civil War's coming, and I'm like, this that ship has passed. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to fight it with my words.
Wait,
So
full circle moment here with the Civil War and Prospect
mhm.
Park.
Okay.
As you are about to enter Prospect Park, there is this area called Grand Army Plaza.
Okay.
And at Grand Army Plaza is this beautiful arch, white marble arch named Soldier and Sailor's Arch. And it's modeled after the big iconic arch in Paris. I can't remember the name of
Arc
that.
de Triomphe. Yeah.
Yes. And it looks just like it. You're like, oh my God, I'm in Paris. But you're like, no, I'm in Brooklyn. And there's actually a trophy room inside the arch that there's not really a great historical record of what was kept in there, but the arch was designed after the Civil War as to honor both the American Navy and Army. And so the arch is set up in a way where the statues on the arch that face south are all these statues of sort of Greek mythological figures, but also the U.S. Army, U.S. Navy.
Weird.
They're facing south to say, hey, we're the Union, like we're protecting this land. Don't come on our turf. And then like Lincoln and Ulysses S. Grant are like on horses and they're going toward the north because they're like we're
What?
victorious and go us. And the arch has been under construction for many years because the spiral staircase that goes up inside of it to this trophy room had to be restored, and the metal that it's made of could only be restored at one place in Alabama. And so it was like this extremely long process of getting the stairs repaired, and now it's finally open for tours. And so this past weekend I went up into the arch, up the spiral staircase into the trophy room, which in the 70s and 80s was actually an art gallery. They weirdly stored like huge puppets in there for a period of time. It's been so many weird different things. Yes, that's it.
Wow, there's like statues on top of the arch.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a fresco, or like there's like statues coming off of the, like where the shelves are on the arch.
Yes. So those are
That
the
is
one. The one on the
wild.
left is the Army, and the one on the right is the Navy. But I guess this is all to
Okay.
say I was getting emotional during this tour, and just the idea of the end of the Civil War, and like,
Right.
which of course that period of time is not perfect, and we don't have to think of like Ulysses S. Grant and Abraham Lincoln as like the most perfect people that ever lived. But it was,
I'd like you to find one. Yeah.
Thinking more symbolically about
Yeah.
them kind of protecting American freedom. And that is why that arch was built, mainly emotional, where we're at in this time right now.
Right, because it's the ideals of the American ideal is what we're fighting for. One of my favorite things about the United States is that the founding fathers wrote it all down, because they were clearly do as I say, not as I do kind of guys.
Mm-hmm.
And but they wrote it all down, and so everyone was like, oh, okay, so this is what we're working towards, and we have made great strides, and there have been great, and the last 6 months they've undone a great number of them. Oh yes, they have. But you can't put it back in the box. You cannot. So as much as the Heritage Foundation would like to destroy the America and the ideals of the Constitution and freedom and justice and all of these rights, they can't. You cannot do it. You can do it one person at a time, and you can hurt a lot of people, and it can be horrible. But it's out there. I'm not giving up. We're not giving up. So sad, too bad. Yeah.
I know.
So I would like to build a giant slingshot and send them all into the sun. Or they could all slip on a banana peel. We could roll them into the sea. But this isn't, I didn't buy any ranks at fighter. So my D&D stats are not up to whatever. I have ended on that note, but it's a hopeful note, so that's the good news. So
it is.
I want to go to
We're
this
gonna
park so
maybe
bad.
be okay. If when you're at the Bell House, if you want a tour, let me know. I'd be happy to give you one.
Super cool. You guys, I have been talking with Kate Strobel. And Kate Strobel, her Instagram is kate.strobel. It'll be in the notes. And she is part of Firecracker Comedy. That's at Firecracker Comedy. They're the three of them, new album coming out in August 22nd, probably right when this is going to drop. And so go see their stand-up. Go see everybody's, go see live stand-up if you can. Go see my live stand-up. What the hell? And thank you so much for doing the show. Appreciate it, Kate.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, Jackie. It was a pleasure.
Yay. And Rangers, you know the rules out there. Take care of each other.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?